Thank you, Chair. Recognizes Mr. Carter for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for allowing me to waive on to this committee. I don't have the pleasure of serving on this committee, but I do represent the entire coast of Georgia, over 100 miles of pristine coastline. It's my home. It's where I've lived all my life, where I intend to live the rest of my life. I care deeply about the coast of Georgia. I care deeply about our economy. And we have 2 major seaports, the Port of Savannah, the number 3 container port in the country, the Port of Brunswick, the number 2 roll-on, roll-off port in the country. And that's why I'm here today, is because these proposed rules are going to have a big impact on those ports. They're also going to have a big impact on our blue economy, that is our fishing. I mean, aside from the fact that we only get 2 days a year to fish for red snapper, we do fish a lot down there. And we enjoy it, and it brings a lot to our economy. And that's why this is so very important to us. It's one of the reasons why we have a thriving economy down here. But I'm really worried, I'm very worried about the speed restrictions that are imposed by NOAA's rule that would shut down all these thriving communities and kill our blue economy. All up and down the coast, not just in the Savannah area, but also all in the 100 miles of the coastline there. And look, we all want to protect the right whale. The right whale is the state mammal of Georgia. We love the right whale. We want to protect it. We don't want to see it become extinct. But we've only had 6 lethal strikes off the state of Georgia, off the coast of Georgia, I should say, since 1999. And you know, do we need policies? Yeah, we need policies. There's no question about that. But we need smart policies that are going to work and that aren't going to destroy our economy. And that's what we want to do. We want this, and we're in bipartisan agreement. I don't think there's anyone on the other side of the aisle who wants to hurt our ports or our economy. And I don't think there's anyone on my side of the aisle who wants to see the right whales go extinct. So there's got to be a sweet spot there. There's got to be somewhere where we can find some kind of common ground, if you will. You know, one area that I'm concerned about is our harbor pilots, and I know we have some from my district here today, and they've got to be considered in crafting this rule. And I know, and Deputy Administrator Coit, you and I have talked, and I appreciate your engagement and appreciate your input. But I'm very concerned about our harbor pilots and their safety and the port's overall operation. You stop the ports, and we have major economic problems in my area, not just for the Savannah area, not just for the coast, but the whole southeast United States. It is the economic engine of the southeast United States. So I want to ask you, Mr. Diamond, you mentioned that NOAA is attempting to overtly introduce criminal sanctions to the North Atlantic right whale speed regulations. Can you elaborate somewhat on that?
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Yes, this is a big concern that we have. In the proposed regulation, NOAA chose to very clearly state that there are potential criminal sanctions, including prison, for to violate the speed limit, attempt to violate the speed limit, solicit another to violate the speed limit, or cause the speed limit to be violated. And why we're so concerned about that is pilots have to be free to use their judgment, split-second judgment in maneuvering, as you point out, massive container ships. And limiting a pilot's flexibility right at the time that they need it most is really unsafe. And the language, and I'm looking at it now, this language really will cause, at the most critical point in the navigation of the vessel, cause pilots to be second-guessing themselves with this kind of aura of criminality hanging over their head, and they may be hesitant to make a decision. And it's unfair and it's unnecessary, to criminalize what is at its heart a prudent navigation safety.
You know, I had the opportunity to ride on one of the harbor pilot boats before, and I'm telling you, talk about stressful. It is. I mean, look, we just finished the deepening of the Savannah Harbor expansion project. We went from 42 feet to 47 feet depth in order to accommodate the post-Panamanic ships and the bigger ships. Those ships that are coming through now are enormous. and the pressure that is on those harbor pilots, and in the back of their mind, they're going to be thinking about criminal prosecution if they do something wrong or if they exceed a speed limit. You can't do that. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, again, I appreciate you letting me wave on to this committee. This is important. Just because you're not on natural resources doesn't mean that you're not interested in it. We're interested in it very much so in Georgia and on the coast of Georgia. So please keep that in mind. Thank y'all. Appreciate it, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.